Hello there! Welcome back to episode 17 of Rule the Waves 2 as Great Britain. We are currently in 1909. We've got tensions rising rapidly with America and France, and those two nations have negotiated an alliance between them to contain British aggression, they say. I say nonsense to that, but to prove the case, we currently have three battleships and two battle cruisers under construction to contain American aggression. Those villains have nasty designs on proper British colonies in America and the Caribbean, and we can't let them have that. How dare they? So we are currently building a fleet of dreadnoughts to fend off their advances. We've got three dreadnoughts, including the new Formidable class. I'm particularly looking forward to those as my first proper all-Central Line battleships. And then we also have the Invincible and Indefatigable class battle cruisers. Oh wow, the new Indefatigable is even smaller than the Invincible. Fascinating. Excellent. Well, these two ships should do excellent work against the American and French armored cruisers. I'm looking forward to seeing how well that works. For now, on to our next turn. Alright, we just completed new docks, so it's time to build new ones. Alright, so American battlecruiser Lexington, we finally have a good look at their plans. Alright, so these are 25 knots, just like ours, but they are significantly smaller. They only have 3 turrets, and they only have 7 inches of belt armor. Ooh, that means they are vulnerable. They do have 13-inch guns, so that is a potential risk. But our ships are much better protected, and we should have an easy time putting this Lexington class down. Oh, we also unlocked larger torpedo warheads. Torpedoes do more damage. That should help punch through enemy torpedo protection if that is a thing that they've unlocked. Who knows? We'll see. Let's take a quick look at the almanac and see how many battlecruisers America has under construction. So that was a good peek at their Lexington class. But they also have Constellation and Alabama, both of which are slightly bigger. So we'll see where those go from here. Alright, and we just finished the Invincible. Let's do a quick review. The Invincible class has 8 12-inch guns in a, classic Invincible layout, 2 cross-deck firing wing turrets. And she has a very heavy armor belt of 10 inches. Should hopefully provide a little bit more protection than what the historical Invincible had. And then 25 knots. Pretty good for a ship of that size and power. Alright, we just finished building docks, so it's time to build more. Better to have bigger docks than we need than not big enough, as we have seen earlier. Alright. And our destroyers are coming along in another turn. I think it'll be time to lay down another round. Alright. Well, not much else to do right now other than chug along to the next turn. Oh my. The Prime Minister wants me to deploy additional forces to the Mediterranean to deter aggressive moves by the French Navy. Your current strength is 8, required 17. Ships in reserve count. Well, Japan is interested in funding our war effort by buying technology from us. By all means, I will let them do that. Oh, and we also get TNT bursting charges, better damage. That's nice. Well, I accept. Okay, so we need to have more ships in the Mediterranean is what they want. They said ships on reserve count, and they were counting 8 ships, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possibly? I legitimately have no idea. What's going on with that requirement. So let's check the messages. Nope, nothing in there. Check the intel reports. Okay, not in there. But we do need more ships in the Mediterranean, so let's send some cruisers. We have some cruisers in active fleet already, so we'll just grab those. And we will send those, here we go, to the Med. While we're at it, we'll grab these other ships as well. So we'll active fleet those, and we will move them to the Med as well. That ought to put the fear of Britain into the French. They've faced off against these fellows before, and I don't think they want to face off against them again. Oh! And we've just unlocked additional machinery development, small tube boilers 2. An additional weight savings on machinery. I don't see how that's weight savings as opposed to improvements in performance, but I guess if it means more efficient engines, then we could call that weight savings. Oh no, the Formidable has been delayed. Well, that's annoying. By 2 whole months? Oh, that's not so good. Well, it is time to order more destroyers, so let's order another batch of 4. There we go. Get those going. Yeah, I have no idea what they need in terms of sending ships to the Mediterranean. They wanted 17, and I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we have a Comus class, 12. So it says we currently have 13 cruisers there. Let's see if we can bump that number up a little more. Actually, you know what? Let's send some destroyers. So we've got 12. We want 17, 12 ships there. They want 17, so we'll send some destroyers. We'll send some of these Jed class. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We'll make it 18. And we'll move those right on over to the Med. That ought to keep the French in proper fear. Alright. Next turn. The Invincible has finished her working up, and we have gotten a hold of blueprints for the Oldenburg. Thuringen class. Oh wow. That is a hefty ship. 21,000 tons. 6 12-inch guns. Interesting, Germany has unlocked 12-inch guns. Would not have expected that quite so early. And that may actually be a super firing turret as well. It's hard to be sure. That may be a midships turret, but it's hard to be sure. But look at that armor. That thing is heavily armored, 13.5 inches. And then for some reason they also have an 8-inch secondary armor. I have no idea why they have that much secondary armor on there. But if that's what they want, wow. And then we get some weight savings on our hull. unexpected advances in ship design. Ooh! Oh! Interesting. We just unlocked superimposed B turret. Well, that is significant. It's a little bit early to start dropping our next design, but let's at least take a look and see what kind of design we can come up with. Intriguing, but I think I'll pass on that. Low freeboard short range, cramped accommodations? No. We'll just pull up another design. Okay, that's a little bit better. In fact, that's a lot better. We'll just drop those wing turrets off because we don't need those. Delete. Delete. Bump the ammunition count up. Let's see. 5-inch quality 1 or 6-inch quality 0? That's a tough question. Let's do a quick comparison. So 6-inch quality 0 goes out to 11,200 yards, penetrating 4.5 to 2 inches of belt. Whereas the 5-inch quality 1 goes out to 11,280 yards, but armor penetration is significantly worse. Okay, so yeah, definitely want to stick with the proper 6-inch guns. So we'll stick with 6-inch secondaries. We'll put that up to 4-inch tertiaries. Oh. Why are we coal-fired? Let's fix that. Oil. There we go. And we'll put all of that weight savings into armor belt. And a 2.5-inch deck. We'll bump up that belt extended to a 4-inch. There we go. And our turrets definitely need some good protection. I'll put those at 14 inches. There we go. And we're just 1,480 tons overweight. Not bad. Clear off those torpedoes. Known weakness there. We wouldn't want that. All right. This is almost an acceptable design. We just need to fix that weight issue there. Let's see if we can just throw on some extra tonnage. Okay, so extra tonnage by itself is not quite enough to do the trick. But shaving a little bit of armor off the conning tower seems to do the trick just fine. So we will call that a successful design. Now I just need a name. So we've already done an E and an F. Next up would be G. Let's take a look at the naming list. Alright, I am back. And the name suggested was Goliath. So we will save this as the Goliath class. Alright, do we want to start developing this design? Given our budget, given what's under construction, and all the conditions that we have, yeah, I think I'll do it. We'll start developing this thing. We've got 2 formidable class, and those are fantastic ships. But I think it's time to move on to the new gun and the new gun arrangement. We'll call that good. Alright. Well, We've got cruisers under construction. We've got destroyers under construction. Hold on a minute. How do these get up to 31 knots? Did they exceed their design? Ah, looks like my destroyers have exceeded their design specifications. Outstanding! I love when I get a good design. I think we will make a lot of this Stour class. Alright, next turn. So a major arms firm wants to sell ships to a South American country. I seem to remember this happened in real life, too. Well, obviously, a strong arms industry is the foundation for a strong navy. I shall allow this. All right. Have I met these requirements yet? I know the minister was quite concerned about having ships, and we are now up to 18 ships in the Med. That should meet his concerns. How are things doing over here? Looks like America is starting to concentrate their pre-dreadnoughts. Well, that's not so good. Alright. On the other hand, we have finished construction of our coastal batteries. So that is good. And Germany wants to buy technology, so I shall permit it. Alright. Let's bump these up to reserve as well. I know it's expensive, but every little bit counts. Alright, do I have any other ships in mothballs? Oh, we've got these Comus class. I'll put those in reserve as well, just to start working up their experience. We'll see how things go from there. Alright, next turn. Ah, the Doris is commissioned. Oh, that's an interesting looking cruiser. Oh, wow. They've put a lot of emphasis on speed there. 27 knots. Wow. And that's a light cruiser, not just a protected cruiser, which means new armor scheme and all that. Well, if it gets close, it will definitely run into trouble. Alright, an internal upheaval in Shanghai. I don't know if I have any ships in the area, and if I don't have ships, then we can't take advantage of this. The only purpose of sending an expeditionary force is if I have an expeditionary force to send. And of course, I can't just scroll down while we're in the middle of the event. So I am going to pass on that. Additional foreign station requirements, not good. And we have unlocked Crump Cementite, so improving armor, that's always good. And the Goliath is ready for construction. We'll do a quick double check of this thing, see what we can do. But I think that is good. Oh, looks like we've had a little bit of weight savings there. Can we do anything with that? Nope. Can't do additional secondaries. But tertiaries. Well, we can certainly throw on additional tertiaries. We'll put those up in single turrets. Alright. one more turn. I think that's acceptable. Alright, and we have Flora class at about halfway through their construction. Let's take a quick look and see if we can build a better cruiser. So we'll auto-design that. Okay, so we could build something similar to what the Americans have. We absolutely could do that. And that would certainly up the speed quite a bit. I'm not sure if I approve of that idea, though. We're still a protected cruiser. And until we get the light cruiser armor configuration, we still don't have good protection for our machinery. And we still can't put lots of firepower on there. So sure, these ships would be fast, but they would not be effective combatants. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. We will stick with these other cruisers, these Flora class. Let's see, we've already got 3. We've got 2 more on the way. Let's see, and how long does it take to build? 18 months? Yeah, I think I'll build another Flora class. There we go, plop that down. Alright, time to move on to our next turn. So Japan is interested in buying improved turret design. Well, I still think they're relatively friendly to me. Ugh, they're joking with me. Quality 1 2-inch guns. Didn't they unlock quality 0 earlier? That feels like such a waste to me. I will never use 2-inch guns. They just lack the range, they lack the firepower. They're just completely useless cannons. Alright. Design Goliath is ready for construction. One quick double check. Everything looks good. Alright. Let's start building this thing. Alright. HMS Goliath is laid down. She'll be ready in 30 months. At all of 35,000 tons. What a monster. Alright, we're getting some improvements to industrial capacity. That's always good. The Navy League is complaining that our Navy is pathetically weak in armored cruisers. What? I have no idea what they're complaining about. We have one of the largest groups of armored cruisers around. Alright, well I could say we could fight against any opponent. I definitely do not see no risk of war. We will definitely be seeing war in the near future. But I think it is appropriate to blame someone. I think we're going to war with France. Because I will blame France all day long. Alright, our scientists report that they are currently baffled by the superheater. And we have unlocked plotting table. Alright, we need to send a diplomatic note in the strongest possible language because France has stolen technology and fire control from us. How dare they? Alrighty. Still a quick check of the almanac, see what kind of ships France has. Alright, now they've actually launched a few ships. We've got the Saint Louis and the Duquesne class. Let's take a look and see what these 20,000 ton ships have. They're both very slow, 18 knots. And they're rocking. Okay, so we've got a traditional dreadnought layout. 10, 12-inch guns and a 9-inch belt. Alright. What about this Duquesne class? Okay, that one is more using wing turrets. Possibly cross-deck fire? I don't know. They only have 11-inch guns. He's up to 21 knots. Oh, wow. Pushing for that speed. And again, very light protection, only 9.5-inch belt. So both of these dreadnoughts are barely dreadnoughts, and they don't stand much chance. Well, that's rather strange. Apparently they have a battle cruiser that's... Oh, okay. 24 knots. Alright. That's more appropriate. It was reporting 18 knots. I think that's what it reports when they have a ship in the yards for a refit of some sort. So yeah, this looks like a proper battle cruiser. 3 13-inch turrets, 24 knots, so he's got the speed. 6.5-inch belt. Yep, that definitely sounds like a battle cruiser, all right. Very, very light. And then we also have another Tourville. Yep. So 2 of those things are out. 24 knots, 3 twin turrets. All right. And they still have a large number of pre-dreadnought battleships. At some point soon, it'll be time to start ditching our own collection of pre-dreadnoughts, but not quite yet. I don't think these Ansons will ever get upgraded again, but they will certainly stick around through this next war. Maybe after that they'll get scrapped. We'll see. It seems that we have the smallest tonnage of large cruisers, armored cruiser or battle cruiser, in service or building of all the great powers. The Prime Minister is displeased. Well, that is unfortunate. Oh, and we get improved AP projectiles. Outstanding. So that's good. Let's take a quick check at the almanac and see how things are going. Yeah, so we've got 1 battle cruiser in service and 1 BC building for a total of 50,000 tons. Yeah, it looks like all the other nations are starting to build a fair number of battle cruisers as well, so we're going to have to step up our efforts there. Alright, so we do have the indefatigable building. Let's see what other sorts of design we can come up with. So we're going to design a battle cruiser. We'll run the auto design. And I am not happy with that. Interesting idea, but nope. I do not like that lozenge pattern. I don't know why they keep on throwing that at me. Let's see if we can auto design something else. And they say the exact same thing. Well, it seems that our design bureau is quite stuck on this lozenge design, and I do not approve, so we will have to clear this off and try again. Alright, so we'll clear that. I don't need super heavy calibers on my battle cruisers, so we shall go with an A, B, X, Y, double turrets of 12-inch guns. Alright, that looks like a pretty good battle cruiser. Well, I say that, but ew, look at that armor. Well, let's see if we can do something about that. Alright, no torpedoes, so that's good. I got the ABXY arrangement, so that's good. Why does it insist on coal fuel? We've had oil available for a while now. Alright. Armor belt, we'll bump that up. Belt extended, we'll bump that up. Turrets, gotta have good turret armor. There we go. We can drop that down a little bit. Alright, that looks a whole lot better. We'll make it a even 28,000 ton hull. Looks good to me. Can we push the speed anymore? Aha! We could push the speed all the way up to 27 knots. This is an outstanding battlecruiser. And I think it will be incomparable to any other ship. So we will take that, and we shall start developing that design. All right, I'm quite happy with that. We've got a Goliath under construction. We're going to be designing an incomparable class. I'm not concerned about having a large number of battle cruisers. My primary concern is a proper battle line. As you can see, lots of emphasis on battleship construction, and only a few battle cruisers to serve as scouts and to hunt enemy armored cruisers. So I never intend to build any large numbers of battle cruisers. Perhaps a 2-to-1 ratio, maybe 3-to-1. We'll see where that ends up. All right, and Japan is once again offering to help fund the construction program by purchasing technology from me. Sounds good to me. I will approve that any day of the week. And we have unlocked mine rails on cruisers and destroyers. I like that idea. I'm not going to redesign my current batch of destroyers to add in mines. And I'm not going to redesign my current batch of cruisers. However, that is definitely something to incorporate in later designs and possibly in refits as well. All right, let's move on to our next turn. New docks completed, 4 destroyers commissioned, and we have blueprints for the Dreadnought Rhode Island. Ooh, that's quite a beast. 25,000 tons, 20 knots, so they're still a little slow. And they are definitely starting to show signs of cross-deck fire. So we've got 10 12-inch guns, cross-deck fire, and oh my goodness, look at that armor belt. It's almost like they're actually still trying to protect themselves. And our scientists are very confused by the challenge of having a double torpedo mount. It's like a single torpedo mount, but you have 2 of them. Very strange and baffling problem. Most perplexing. We'll have to send more scientists to investigate this. All right, and America has just laid down that Rhode Island. Interesting. So that was their latest design. Very interesting. Wish I knew what kinds of battle cruisers they had. All right, we're starting to see the Constellation as well. I don't know how you could call that a battle cruiser. I think it's just the straight speed, 26 knots. And heck, even this thing's more of a battle cruiser than that. What about France? They've got 2 battle cruisers, and we've got 2 dreadnoughts. When are these ships set to come out? Yeah, no new ships set to launch anytime soon. Which means if we're going to go to war, now's the time. We should get that war in while we have the capability, crush them, destroy their current fleets, hold on to our holdings, and maybe take some foreign station holdings, and see what we can do. All right, the Emperor of India is commissioned. A world cruise for our young cadets is planned. Which ships should take part? Well, at this point, I am looking for war, so we will send some of our newest and most powerful ships. Ooh. And we've just unlocked the light cruiser armor configuration. And we're well on our way to understanding diesel engines. Fascinating. Well, that world cruise pissed off the French, but it hasn't done anything to the USA yet. So we're still not at war. But now that we have the light cruiser armor scheme, it's time to investigate. So let's see what kind of design we can come up with for a light cruiser. Ooh. Well, this is a nice looking design. All up. Decent weapons arrangement. I think we can probably do better in terms of gun layout. We can put some centerline turrets on there and clear some of this stuff off. Alright, so we've got we can do up to 4 centerline turrets, so we will do those. And we can only do single turrets on that, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 guns on the broadside. And then we can add on some wing turrets. Port wing, starboard wing. And another port wing, starboard wing. Single turrets. I don't like that C turret. I'll replace that with a Q. Midships gun. There we go. That looks good. We'll do a quick design check. All okay. Looks good. We'll have to relocate some funnels, but that's fine by me. Fuel type oil. Armor belt looks good. We're not going to worry about belt extended. Deck. Nope, can't do any more deck, unfortunately. Conning tower, 4 inches. Ugh. No, we're going to put that at 2.5. Turrets can also go down to 2.5. And I have no idea why it has secondary armor. Alright, and that has freed up. Let's see, do we have any mines? Oh yes, we do have mines. We're going to keep torpedoes on there because these cruisers are absolutely going to see frontline use. And they are torpedo launching platforms. Let's see if we can push the speed up a little more. Oh yeah, 26 knots. Can't quite put it up to 27 yet. But 26 knots is pretty good. And we have enough tonnage for some additional torpedoes on the broadside, and we can push our mines up to their maximum as well. Ooh, actually, hang on. Looking at that rounds per gun, that is not enough. Alright, so we need more ammunition. I want at least 160 rounds. And that means we're going to have to ditch some of these torpedoes. There we go. Let's check our firing arcs. Let's see what the forward wing turrets look like. Alright, I don't have the weight for it, just to throw extra guns on. But I do rather like those locations better than the aft turrets, and it does have slightly more aggressive layout there, slightly more aggressive arcs. Alright, so we're going to ditch the regular wing turrets and we're going to go with the forward and aft wing turrets. Alright, so we've got forward wing, midships, port aft, starboard aft wing, aft. I'm curious what this R turret looks like. Ah. Well, that'll work if I push my funnels forward. Actually, now, hold on a minute. This is only a 5.6 thousand ton ship. I want a 6,000 ton ship. So we'll push that up. We'll slap some colonial service on there so these ships have good use well into the future. And let's see what we can do with this. Throw on a few secondary guns because those are always helpful. The ability to target multiple ships at once in case there's destroyers or something approaching from the other side. The neat thing about secondaries, as opposed to just adding extra primary guns can only target one ship at a time, whether they're on the port or the starboard side. If the opposite if the opposite side guns are unengaged and they're not able to bear, they will not pick another target. They will just refuse to fire and sit there uselessly. Whereas secondary guns, not only are they capable of targeting a separate ship from the one your main guns are targeting, so you could have secondaries going after a destroyer while your mains go after a cruiser, they're also capable of targeting on your unengaged side. So if you've got destroyers on both sides, both sets of secondary guns will be engaging, which is very, very useful. So yeah, I will absolutely take advantage of that. And let's do a quick relocation of these funnels, and we'll call that good. So we'll push this one forward just a little bit, and we'll push this one forward just a little bit, and there we go. We have a successful design. What is this called? Let's see. Proserpine? Another random weird Greek name. I'll never be able to pronounce those. And I'll bet the historical crews could never pronounce them either. Alright, that is an acceptable design. We're going to save that and start developing. Alright. 2 months of development sounds good to me. And that'll increase the fleet speed of our cruisers quite a bit. I'm going to want a few of those. Alright. So we've got a fair bit of monthly balance free right now. I know a good chunk of that is going to go into the incomparable. So I'm going to wait one more turn and we'll see what comes of that. Oh, uh-oh. Well, that's a right villainous act. An unidentified submarine has fired a torpedo at one of our ships. No clues as to who might be behind this underhanded act. Well, let's take a quick review of the almanac. I know I checked it earlier, but as we can see, we have both France and the USA beat in terms of dreadnoughts. They can match us in terms of battle cruisers, and they definitely outnumber us in terms of pre-dreadnought battleships, but those are no longer hugely relevant. But looking at the evidence, I see a fair number of submarines in both French and American service. Either one of these nations is very capable of doing so. That said, France is definitely closer, and we only have coastal submarines right now that don't have the range. I'm pretty sure this is a French crime here. There is no doubt in my mind which nation is behind this lowly deed. We shall blame France and go to war. But not before unlocking diesel engines. Alright, and there we go. War has broken out between Great Britain and France. And America immediately joins the war. I think it's time to begin construction on this incomparable battle cruiser. Alright, one incomparable class battle cruiser, and war has broken out. Woo, look at that! We have all the balance in the world. It's time to take all of our ships to active fleet. Whew, and watch all that budget disappear. Oh my. Alright, I'm going to leave all of these Comus class foreign station ships on foreign station. They're doing a pretty good job there. Although it looks like it's about time to start taking them in for a paint job. Alright, and then we also need Oh my destroyers are starting to go obsolete. Well, that sounds like a problem for the future, because right now we are at war and I need ships on the front lines. Alright, and then our corvettes are going straight into trade protection. Alright, so those are all set. Looks like all of our ships are set. And now we need to figure out where to go from here. Alright, in terms of deployment capability, our Super Dreadnought, Emperor of India, is not quite ready for overseas deployment yet, so we can't send that one anywhere. The Invincible is looking fairly solid. I think America is obviously the larger threat. They have better technology, they have more ships, and they actually threaten our colonies. So that is my primary concern. And they have a fair number of ships on the East Coast, including 2 dreadnoughts and a battlecruiser. They also have some down in the Caribbean, but not as much. And who knows where the rest of them are. So that's not so great. I'm not going to worry too much about France. That is not a threat. So we'll take those ships that we deployed to the Med and we will call them back. Oh, well, look at the time. We'll have to figure out this ship deployment next time. For now, we're at the 47-minute mark, almost to the 50-minute mark, so we're going to call it here. Until next time, Katori87, signing out.